See if we can get that idea down. What's up, folks? See if I can get that idea. What's up? Try to clean that up a little bit. All right. What's up, good people? Parker, what's going on? Fleece, I see you. Thomas, what's up, man? G, good morning to you. Mastercraft, morning. Yeah, we'll get into a nice discussion. So I'm gonna let people come in. I know my title is like, wait, what? So yeah, I'm gonna push and play a little bit, and then we'll talk. All right. John, good morning. All right. What's up, Casey? Demetrius, what's up, man? Ah, I land that. It's a little difficult. What's up, Larry? What is it that you're playing? I'm going from the let me wake up. So I'm playing I'm playing the relative major, and I'm starting from there back to the one. So it's like the flat three, if you want to think of it that way, the major flat three, and then you're going to the four doing the same line or a variation of that line, major. So instead of going to the flat three, thinking of it as minor, that kind of thing, I'm just going to the flat third and playing it major. So like a major pentatonic. Kevin Parker, what's up, man? Are you using anything for tone besides guitar and amp, EQ? Um, I'm running through this TC electronic Spectra drive that I normally use, and that's giving me a little EQ, but not much. This is without it, but this is with it. So very, very little EQ. Very little EQ. Matter of fact, as I look at it now, it's almost set flat. I don't have it boosted at all, so I don't even know why I'm using it at this point. I think I like the compression that's on it. It's kind of keeps me from getting too crazy, out of control when I keep that compression on there. But yeah, that was that line that I was doing. To the one. All right, so I'm in the key of A flat, just playing around through this idea. Excuse me for tuning. Hopefully y'all are well this morning. So yeah, I want to put that title up. Good morning, Mama. How you doing? Steven, what's up, man? Yes, sir. So I put that title up because I picked up my bass this morning after I kind of got done with some other stuff, my normal regiment. I kind of picked my bass up, and I was like completely uninspired. I did not want to. I'm not gonna say I didn't want to, because if I didn't want to, I wouldn't have picked it up. But it was like I had nothing. I picked it up, and it was like, yeah, I'm good. I was just being honest. I really had nothing. I felt like I was kind of out of gas. I don't know if any of you guys ever experienced that from time to time, but just so you know in your journey that it's something that's completely normal and natural, that you get to those times where you like feel like you're out of gas. And the crazy thing is, I took a break. I didn't do anything musical yesterday. A lot of times I try to take a break. I try to give myself a day, you know what I'm saying, to get away from music, just to keep my mind fresh. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of keep my mind fresh, keep some ideas, and just to kind of back away from it all, just to reset. Every now and again, you have to reset. And I did that on yesterday. I literally didn't come in here. I didn't cut a light on. I didn't do anything. I didn't pick up a bass. I didn't look at music. I listened to a little bit of music, but very, very little. But I didn't think nothing about playing on yesterday. So when I come in here today, it was just, I don't know. I lacked, I'm not gonna say the motivation, because I was up and I was in here and I'm actually practicing now. But I lacked the initial inspiration to want to do something. And it's more so, I think when you get to those points, y'all need to smack the like button. Thank you, Zuala. Please smack that like button. And good morning to you as well. Yeah, that definitely helps me out when you smack the like button. Push that like button now in 3 seconds. That's what what's his name? Davey 504 slap the like button now. But yeah, so that when you get to those places, because they're real places, and sometimes if you're not careful, I'm definitely not there at this moment, but if you're not careful, you can get to a place where it can become depressing, because if that happens a lot and you consistently don't feel like, you know, practicing, or don't feel like picking up your instrument, being creative, working on stuff, it can become like overwhelming. It can become depressing, because if you couple that with insecurities and playing, not feeling like you're good enough, all of that, you know, all the stuff that goes with that, you can really get into a funk. Well, what I call it, you can get yourself into a funk and you go way down in there, and it's hard to come out of that when you go there. So that's why even this morning, I'm just being completely honest. I'm playing, but I really didn't have anything. I really, like, I had no idea, like, what am I going to practice on, and this, that. I mean, again, we talk about regiments and we talk about all of that stuff, but lately I've been in a process of creating and writing new music, and that keeps me inspired to create. But some days you just don't have it. You know, you walk in there and you have to push through it until you get something, because some days, there have been days when I come in here to record, because you know I'm a songwriter and producer, but there have been days I come in here and I got nothing, like no ideas. It's like blank screen up there. I mean, a blank sheet of paper, and I don't mean the good kind of blank sheet of paper. Ah, man, let's start from scratch. You know, let's just start with nothing and just see what comes out. I'm like, nothing is there and nothing is coming out. I can turn on all this recording equipment and nothing comes out. Vic says everybody has days like that. Power through and practice, and it still pays off. Yeah, it does. It does still pays off. And what I found helpful for me this morning, Vic, was actually going through some of my old recordings of some things that I had posted before. Um, and that's where I found the inspiration to kind of start working through this song idea that's going to be on Dreams Work Reality too. If it all pans out, that's if the song makes a cut. That's what it's that's what it's gonna be on. But if you don't have, shameless plug, if you don't have Dreams Work Reality one, Jermaine Morgan Band, be sure to get that right after this. Cool record. I think you really like it. Some nice bass stuff. Overall, some nice band stuff happening there. But I've been working on some really cool music for part two of that record. And the crazy thing is, I was finished with the record, but I'm like, I think it's some more stuff I want to add to the record. So we've been working hard. I've been talking to my band. They're really excited about recording some more new music, because the stuff we've been sitting on that stuff for like 3 years. Literally, 2017 is when we started working on that record. We did part one and part two. We recorded at the same time. We just released part one And yeah, we just been sitting on part two. I think we had like one or two songs to finish up, but now that we've kind of been revisiting this music, yeah, it's took on a whole nother thing. So part two is, yeah, there's some good stuff coming for part two that I'm really excited about y'all hearing. And yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So going back through some of my recordings, to my point, I digress. To my point, going back to some of my recordings that I had posted, I was able to hear some things that inspired me. I was like, oh, I forgot about that idea. And I encourage you guys, if you find yourself in a funk, or you find yourself where like there is no motivation, you have no inspiration when you pick up that instrument, like you may have to go back to something. So that's why it's good to record yourself, record your practices, and even if you don't post it to social media and that kind of thing, like if you're in a good, when we hit the zone, when you're kind of practicing, you've been going for a little while and you hit the zone, have something recording, like turn on your screen recording on your computer. You can do it on your phone or something. Just pull it out after you got it warmed up and you're playing some pretty cool stuff. You got a pretty cool idea. Record it. I mean, it didn't have to be long. It could be 1 or 2 minutes, but you record it and archive it somewhere where you can go back. And so in moments like this, when you find yourself in a funk, you can pull that up and maybe it can spark some inspiration, because you're taking a high moment of you practicing or you being in the zone, and you taking one of those high moments and you pulling from that energy. When you don't have organic energy, you pulling from some energy from another place, and it helps you to kind of pull yourself out of that funk and to start just being creative. Before you know it, ideas and stuff will start flowing, because here I literally started playing right before I went live. So this is fresh fingers this morning. So good old fresh mistakes and everything. So I've been up for a while as usual, but these hands, they still sleep. But the ideas are fresh, so it's cool. It's just, hopefully with me being honest with this particular live, it helps some of you guys to know that you're not by yourself. When you hit that brick wall and you're playing, where you feel like, man, I don't got it today. I don't have it. You can reach back and pull from your own creativity. And I will say, be careful. Normally, I would say sometimes you can maybe listen to some other music that inspires you, but you have to be careful with that, because when you're in this moment, it can be a vulnerable state for you. And what I mean by that, in this particular moment, you can find yourself, like I said earlier, being really hard on yourself because you don't have any ideas. And then if you hear somebody calling yourself, trying to encourage or lift yourself up or give yourself some ideas, you can find yourself in a deeper funk, because it's like, man, I'm not gonna ever be that good. Or I'm not gonna ever come up with anything like that. And you start talking to yourself and you start saying the wrong things to yourself. So it causes you to go further down into that funk. So you have to be careful with people that you're listening to, that you don't start. Not saying that you shouldn't listen to other music or other players and stuff like that, but make sure when you're in that moment, be careful not to start playing the comparison game. That's why I say it's good to go and listen to yourself, and not go and listen to yourself to be the critic at that moment. You're not listening from a critiquing standpoint. That's not why you're listening to your old recordings. So don't go listen to something old and be like, oh man, that was trash. That doesn't help the situation. Listen to something that you know was a hot moment for you, and give yourself credit that it was hot. You know what I'm saying? Even if you made some mistakes, don't worry about that. Give yourself credit for the idea, for whatever was good that you could find in that. Whatever good, whatever's noble, whatever's praiseworthy. Think on those things. Think on something that's really, really good, that lifts you up. Daryl, what's up, man? Let me speak to some other folks. Andre, what's up, man? Joshua, I see you. Uh, Andre said, "Good morning, bro. I watch these younger kids play, and that's where I get my inspiration from, watching them." Absolutely, that stuff like that. And if you're getting inspiration, you're looking at it with the right mindset. You're not looking at it from a intimidation standpoint or something derogatory, that kind of thing. So if you're pulling inspiration from them, that's a good thing. So whatever you need to get inspired in those moments, just pull from that. All right, fellow Luma from Gabon. Uh, I don't understand English, but I find your videos too cool and informative practically. Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't know how to say it in your language, but thank you so much. Let's see. Daryl, absolutely, man. That I'm just again, you guys know if you've been around for a while. If you haven't been around for a while, and it's your first video watching me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm here almost every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. I post weekly videos, uh, tons of content to help you guys. Most of you know that already, but again, if you're new, you don't know that. So be sure to visit my page right after this, my channel, my YouTube channel, and you find tons of content that will help you grow in your bass playing. But this is just one of the other tools that will help you grow. Just being honest, knowing that we don't always have it all together. Like even the bass instructors and the people who sometimes you may look up to is like every day is not. Well, I put it like this: every day doesn't start off feeling like a winner or feeling like, oh man, I got this in the bag. Sometimes you have to really work that thing because it doesn't come naturally to you. And there's sometimes it's like, I think the biggest thing that caused my funk, if I can be 100% honest, is oftentimes as a multi instrumentalist, you're pulled in so many different directions. It's like, okay, which one do I focus on right now? A lot of people want to play multiple instruments, and that's cool. But when you do, sometimes it can get it can get difficult. Not, I don't mean the technical aspect of learning the instrument, because that's to figuring out, okay, where do I put the most energy to? Where do I put the most focus? That is the part that can get difficult. Most of you guys know I play several instruments, and sing and write music and do all that stuff. So that's the struggle for me. And lately, in creating music, with the later songs I've been creating, I found a lot more inspiration. Uh, that's right, Mama. The rain makes you appreciate the sunshine. Parker says, "Man, I find inspiration in all your backing tracks. I've been on the lookout for the next backing track." Thank you, Parker. I appreciate that. I'll hopefully I'll have some up this week. Hopefully, I have a new backing track up this week. But yeah, so if I didn't lose my train of thought, if I didn't lose my train of thought altogether. But yeah, that's the thing. Like lately, I've been creating music from the guitar perspective because as a songwriter, you write from different perspectives. It's not the same for everybody, but for me, sometimes I write from the piano. Sometimes I write from the guitar. Sometimes I write from the bass. Sometimes I get the drum beat first, and oftentimes where I start writing from determines where that song goes because I have a different feel and a different perspective on each instrument. And so it might come across a different way. So a lot of times I stay away from writing on guitar because my natural feel on guitar is very, very soulful. So oftentimes I'll stay away from that depending on the feel of the song because I don't want it to come across too soulful or too yeah, that's about the best word I can come up with. I don't want it to come across too soulful. So again, that's oftentimes I push that to the side, but lately I've been finding a lot of joy in writing from the guitar, and the soul has actually been pretty cool because there's a song coming up on the new record that's really funky. I'm talking about really funky. So being able to write from the guitar gave me a lot of creative ideas, and then I stretched myself out of my own comfort zone because I'm used to writing from a soulful perspective. But there are other things that are, oh, wow. Shout out to Zuwala who has just gave $40 on the super chat. Thank you so much, Zuwala, for that. And now you know there's a super chat function if you guys want to give. So, all right. So, but yeah, yeah, let's just give Zuwala some thumbs up for that. It's not $40. I'm sorry. It's in African. I think it's an African currency, so it's a little different in the U.S. But thank you for that gift. I really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate you support this channel. So thank you, Michael, for that. Showing some love to Zuwala. But yeah, I like creating from a different standpoint, and just opening your mind up and not boxing it into, well, I only do this on guitar, or for you bass players, I only do this on bass, and I only can kind of think this way when I start creating. Opening your mind up and being able to create outside of that. All right, so let's see here. I love your backing tracks. That helped me. Andy, I really appreciate that. So that's 2 people on the backing track so far. So I see I got to get some more backing tracks uploaded. And be sure you go. There's a playlist that I created for those backing tracks as well. So it's like, man, I can't even remember. I know it's at least about 15 or so that's there. Hi, Jermaine. Speaking about playing guitar and bass, do you think your solo on bass are solos guitar? Um, First off, what's up, Christoph? Hope you good, man. Well, I think it varies, man. I think differently. Obviously the melodic thing is gonna come across similar, but obviously because the tonality from one instrument to another is different, it's gonna have a different feel to it. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna have a completely different thing. If I play the same solo on guitar that I play on bass, certain parts of it are gonna be different. And thank y'all for showing Zuala some love for that. Yeah, certain aspects of it is gonna be it's gonna be different because I phrase differently on each one. There's a lot of similarities to it because when I improv, most of you guys know, I try to do it from a standpoint of like singing. So, or there are some technical things that come in it, but for the most part, when I'm trying to be really, really melodic, I try to do it like a singer. And so, aspects of you, if you hear me play a guitar solo, if you heard any of my records and there's a guitar solo on there, that's me. So, aspects of my guitar solo are going to sound somewhat similar to my bass playing, but some people don't know. Some people don't know that that's me playing guitar. But yeah, so Christoph, to answer your question, some of it is similar, but I intentionally try to think of them as 2 different instruments. I try not to approach the piano like a guitar player or vice versa, you know what I'm saying? But I do, he said, I understand the building can be starting from the same reflection. Yeah, from the most part. I've learned to start respecting the instruments each for what they are, but at the same time, I've learned to transfer the information from one instrument to the next. Now that really helped me, especially when it came to my improvisation on bass, being able to transfer what I know from guitar to bass. Vice versa, if you're trying to learn another instrument, don't necessarily start from scratch. And some of y'all might like, what? Yeah, don't start from scratch. Go with what you already know. Take the information that you already know for sure here. If you're trying to learn guitar, you don't have to try to play the bass on guitar, but take the information that you already know and play it on the guitar. Like some people get on piano, I don't know how to play piano. Can you play a major scale on your bass? Yes, we'll find those notes on the piano and make it easy for yourself. Start with the key of C. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And now once you get on the piano, you know what the notes sound like. So right there, I'm shaving off so much time with just taking the information that I know and applying it to this instrument. If I can find C on the piano, that gets pretty simple. All right, so if I know like a major triad, just that 1, 3, 5. All right, so if I know that triad makes a chord, now all I'm doing there is 3, 5, 1, 3. That's a chord. And so that didn't take rocket science for me to figure out, you know? I'm taking that same information and applying it to this keyboard here. And so now all I got to do is put the root in there, and I don't have to play the full extension of it. I can just play 3 notes. That 3, 5, 1. and then I add the root in there because I have a left hand that's not doing anything. And I've already figured out so much stuff just in that little bit of information right there. All right, so I'm sorry. Seeing some of y'all comment. Let me get back. Personally, my solos on guitar come from the reflection of the bass, and that's cool. Tyrone, what's up, man? All is well. I love the gospel backing tracks. They are my favorite. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. So that's the different thing I do with, I guess, coming up with the solos from bass to guitar is I now learned, and I actually didn't do that in the earlier years of my playing. I separated them. Like, so the little bit I knew on bass, I was like, whatever, the simple bass line was, and I didn't really add all the stuff that I knew to guitar. So I treated bass completely different. So those ideas were not transferring from one instrument to the next. But once I started doing that, I noticed that my playing went up like big time. What I was able to play, and vice versa, when I started taking the bass more serious and applying the information I knew from bass to the guitar. Because most of you guys may not know, but I'm a guitar player. I was a guitar player first, and so my guitar playing became a lot better. The better I got on bass, and the more I understood the role of the bass, like understanding chord substitutions and that kind of thing. That helped my voicings on guitar to become better, and it opened my mind up a lot more to understand it. All right, Indian rupees all the way from Mizoram, India, does not amount to anything when it converted to US dollars. But yeah, we support. Listen, Zuala, it's the thought, man. It ain't about the amount. It's the thought that you wanted to show support. And so I really appreciate the thought to even, try to, whether it's, you say Indian rupees, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's the thought that you wanted to support. And I appreciate the gesture and the thought. So thank you so much for that. All right, so yeah, so I was playing around with this, pushing myself through this, not wanting to play this morning. I pulled out this track that I was creating from an idea that I had and started putting it together. So let's see here. Let's see if it'll play anything. There we So sometimes, again, you have to just kind of play around with what you hear. And right now, I ain't hearing nothing. It's just, Like I said, this place that I'm in, it's difficult and it's weird. And I'm again being transparent with you guys so you can see how it is that I'm working through it beyond that idea of me not wanting to pick up and play or not having any inspiration to play anything. I got the initial inspiration to do this track, started putting together some, loops and some elements that started kicking off some things, but sometimes it just when it's a fight, you gotta literally fight to come up with something. All right, Rensis, what's up, man? Bernard from Kenya. That's easier to say. Morning, Bernard. Thumper for life. Morning to you. So, like, all right. So I'm struggling with coming up with something for this because my brain is in the way. And so, how do I get around it? So one way that I can do that is again go with what you know. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Find something simple. Find a simple melody if you can. Like take a simple element. This groove is in a major key. I can take a simple element from a major scale and start developing that idea and see what I can come up with, as opposed to keep struggling with trying to come up with an elaborate solo because it might not be anything there. So let's see what we can build just by using elements of a major scale. And again, if you got your bass out, I'm in the key of A flat. So there I'm going in and out of from the major scale to the major pentatonic. Simple pattern. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And I'll just descend with it. This is using the major 7 as a arpeggiation. So you have the major pentatonic. So just different ways you can kind of use it. And the other thing I was using just sound like Joy to the World, but I'm just playing the 1 all the way back down to the 1. It's just the way that I'm phrasing it. And right now I still haven't found that sweet spot to where it all feels good, but I'm just still working around with it until I come up with something that I like. So out of all those elements, I will make this statement. There are times when you can know all the stuff and the theory goes out of the window. I'm like, you can know exactly, okay, I know how many things I can get away with playing over this particular chord. Now, there are people who just kind of default to playing all of the stuff that they know. But me, because I'm so melody driven, I'll push myself in moments like this. I'll push myself into a box because I'm searching for a particular melody as opposed to all of the things that I know that will work over these particular chords or this particular progression. I'll push myself in a box trying to find something. And so you'll hear a lot of repetition. And it's not because that's all I know, but it's like I'm pushing myself in a box. Unawareingly, I'm searching. I'm searching for something. I'm searching for something that I can pull from and I can create from. Because I guess that's just the natural writer in me. So when I say all that theory can go out of the window, it's like you can take another player who just kind of go for blood and they just know all the different shapes and all these different things that work over these chords. But me, I'm normally trying to connect dots. I'm trying to connect things and trying to play things that make sense, things that take you somewhere. All right, I watch a vid about swing versus straight. Well explained, but still difficult. Well explained, but still difficult to make it feel by my students. Some with this kind of African grooves you're playing right now. Same with this. So you was talking about the different subdivisions, Christoph. Is that what you're talking about in terms of trying to pull from the feel that you can play? Because I wasn't even like thinking feel wise when I was playing. I'm just kind of, you can go several ways with this particular track. You can go straight. You can approach this straight. And just, if I can explain that particular thing, if I had to pull from something rhythmic wise, I would probably start with, let's see. Maybe shaker will be the first thing I start listening to, because that's the thing that stands out to me. I don't know if you can hear it, but undertone, it's like that's the undertone of that. Yeah, I need to cut my nails. But yeah, so that's the main thing that's probably standing out to me. And then you can hear the other subdivisions over the top of that. So you have like two different subdivisions. You have the consistent and that. So I'm going like, for me, I'll be going, if I were coming up with good ideas, I'll be going in between both of those. Just taking that major scale. We took something simple to just get it started, just to get that motion going. We could take something as simple as that major scale. Like just taking a simple rhythm like that. And I'm not necessarily putting a swing on that. It's definitely, I'm playing that straight. But it's a hint of a swing in the undertone of that if you really, really listen. But I'm paying more attention just from an elementary standpoint. I'm paying more attention to what's dominant, what's like right there. And it's more of a straight type of pattern. So if the timing of that is it's in 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how I'm counting anyway. 1, 2, 1. I personally feel all this stuff, but my students find this difficult to feel. I got you. And it takes time. It takes time, and it takes consistent listening. David, what's up, man? David Johnson. So yeah, it takes time to kind of really be able to embrace it. And it takes, to me, intentional listening to be able to kind of catch it. Because I get what you're saying. I do have students that struggle in the area of timing and feel as well. So I definitely get it. I definitely understand. It's not a strong suit for all people. It's kind of like the whole walking and chewing gum at the same time thing. Like some people do very well. Like one of my students, that I do the one-on-one calls with, I had him to sing the rhythms without touching his bass. Like listen to the rhythm that was going, not necessarily singing every single note, but just to, count it 1, 2, and the 3 and the 4. Like being able to listen to how this thing is being subdivided and clap out what he would play on the bass before he played it. Like, so before you put your hands on this instrument, I need you to be able to hear it up here first. Can you do it with your mouth? All right, you got it with your mouth. All right, so now let's transfer that to your hands, not with your fingers moving, but let's transfer that with, like the clap. Of course, this is a little more difficult groove for most people depending on your culture, but like I would start, like if I could sing it, not clap. Then lastly we'll play. So I got more notes with the major scale, so let's do something simple. Got it customized. So that's something more simple. We're just playing 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. I'm sorry, the 6 as well. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1. All right. So I seen a comment here. I asked them to hit the beat with their right hand. And exactly, you can do. I mean, there's no set way that you have to do it. I'm just giving you different variations of things you can do. Is it possible for different people to hear different rhythms from the same beat? Absolutely. Um, why not? Locrin, I think that's it. I'm not sure what you mean. So, but yeah, it is possible for different people to hear different rhythms. Like I said, in that particular beat, there's a lot going on. And most drum loops and stuff like that, you're going to hear a lot. I just, for the sake of this example, I pull from the most dominant thing that stood out to me personally. And when I pulled from that, I started kind of building the groove based on that, or not the groove, but I started building what I was going to focus on in terms of my feel from the most dominant thing that stood out to me. Oh, you you just jumping on Lokran. I was explaining earlier, not that I'm not interested in the bass. The title was more so along the lines of kind of when you fall in a funk and you don't really feel like it, you don't really feel like playing that kind of thing. How do you get out of that? More so. And working through the idea, just to summarize in a quick summarization, just in case it's somebody else that just jumped on. How do you work through that funk of not being able to, well, not necessarily not being able to, but not wanting to play or not feeling motivated, not feeling inspired? How do you work through that? And one of the ways I said you can do that is by recording earlier practices and stuff. Like when you find yourself in a good okay, I got you. Nah, I'm not quitting bass, everybody. If you're just watching, I'm not stopping or anything like that. It's just this morning, just to recap, when I picked up my instrument, it's like I had nothing. So I'm not gonna drag this out, but like I really had nothing, and I didn't really feel inspired to play anything. But obviously, I'm here, I'm playing, I'm pushing through it anyway. But I'm just kind of identifying with things that I know people deal with, like the honest part of playing music. Some days you just don't have it. Some days it's not there, and some days it's like, man, whatever. But one of the best ways, I'm not gonna say the best way, but one of the best ways that I found to do that was to be able to, if you've been recording yourself, and if you haven't been recording yourself, now would be a good time to start. Uh, Lori, I'm sorry, Lori Can. Okay, gotcha, Lori Can. If I'm saying that correctly, forgive me if I'm not. So yeah, if you've been recording yourself, or if you haven't recorded yourself, start recording yourself. And especially when you're having a really, really good moment, you have a really, really good idea, capture that idea, keep it, archive. And so when you have those moments that you really don't feel like it, I got you. Um, when you have those moments that you don't feel motivated, you can always go back and find something that you did well and pull from that to gain inspiration and that kind of thing. And that's kind of what I'm doing this morning, as I'm pulling from something that I did a while back and just trying to force myself. I'm forcing myself. And another thing I do sometimes, yeah, the slump days. Another thing that I do sometimes is I just walk away. That's one thing I didn't mention. I do walk away from time. If I'm feeling like, um, you know, uninspired to create, sometimes I don't force it. I'll just kind of walk away. But given the scenario this morning, it's like I've had a whole day of walking away. Like yesterday, I didn't play. Good morning to you. Yesterday, I didn't play at all, as I said earlier in this video. But I got here this morning and I said, I'm gonna get my practice in, get back on my regimen and everything. I just took a break yesterday from music. So I had a day off. So in a day like today, all right, you gotta talk to yourself. You kind of gotta get in your own collar in a certain sense. It's like, all right, you had a day off yesterday. You don't have anything, but you need to come up with something. You need to put out something, like not necessarily post anything, but you need to put out some energy. You need to come up with something. Make yourself get out of that funk. Sometimes you have to push yourself out of it. And if you've been playing a lot, if you've been playing a lot, you maybe have to, step away for a day or two. Or if you've been really, really going at it, seriously going at it, you might have to step away for a couple of days just to give yourself a break, just to give yourself a breather. There is another thing as music fatigue. If you've been learning like with your gig, your band, your church, or whatever the case may be, and you've been learning so much music too, you just like out of here, like as far as your brain is just, I got nothing. That has happened as well, where I can run into moments of music fatigue, and it's the same thing. Take a break. Just give yourself a break, but don't cut yourself too much slack to where you become lazy, because you don't want to get comfortable with, I'll do it later. I don't got nothing I can, because sometimes that comes more often than not. That feeling of not wanting to do anything, that comes more often than not. So figuring out ways to make yourself work through that funk so you will pick the instrument up and so you will do something. Because picking the instrument up and actually doing something, even if you're just working through skill, guess what? As trashy as what I played to me today sound, because my playing today sounds like trash. And when I hear this, I'm probably not going to watch this replay because I don't want to hear myself play. But all in all, I still get credit for working on this instrument, because all in all, I still picked it up. I got to work. I got on here. I did my live, and I'm sharing with you guys. I'm working my fingers. I'm still working through exercises and that kind of thing. Might not be as clean and might not be as whatever as I would like for it to be, but at the end of the day, little progress beats no progress. Even if I'm moving this slow, I'm still making progress. But if I sit here and look at this instrument, do absolutely nothing, and just go on about my business, I didn't do anything. I didn't gain anything. You may say, well, if I don't have anything and I'm just trying to doodle around and whatever, you still pick that instrument up. You still put your hands on it. You still work those muscles. Even if it wasn't good, you still done something. And the thing about it is to stay active, stay not too busy, but you want to stay doing something, keeping the consistency going. Some days are going to be good. Some days are not going to be so good. But if you can work out that ratio of your consistency where you start to get better, you get more good days than you do bad days, then it starts to average itself out a little better. But if it's just, I'm having a bad day today, I'm not going to play. Oh, you should have heard me about 3 weeks ago. I was really going in. I was really getting down. And then after that, I didn't do anything else because I couldn't come up with anything. Well, you just got one day, one win out of 3 weeks, as opposed to like 21 attempts at a win, and I got one win. If I didn't attempt anything, the chances are I'm definitely not gonna win. The stakes are gonna be really, really low. But if I'm picking it up and just trying to push myself, who knows? Today might be the day that I come up with an award-winning song just because I pushed through the funk of not having anything. You just never know. So that's why it pays to just keep going. And again, I knew that title. I knew that title was gonna have some of y'all like, "Hey, wait a minute, what? You finna quit playing bass?" I didn't say I was gonna stop. I said I didn't have anything. I wasn't really feeling it. I don't even remember what my title is now, but you got my point. See it. What's up, man? The signature bass. We're still waiting on it, man. We're still waiting on it. Pond one. What's going on? All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. I just want to get on for a little while. Obviously, I don't really have much of anything, but I just wanted to still get on, be consistent, and share with you guys today. If anyone has any questions, now is the time to drop them in the comments below. But if not, I'm gonna jump off and to try to get something more productive done. The good thing about picking up my instrument, I did get a new song out of it, and I'm about to really dig into the production of this song and to get it up to, I don't know how far I get with it today, but I'm gonna, yeah, just keep going. That's the word for sure. I'm definitely gonna keep working with this particular production and see how far we can get with that today, along with some other things. But yeah, if you are finding yourself in that place, and I think it's easier now to find yourself in that place, just being honest, because we don't have any gigs. Most of us don't have any gigs. I played on Sunday, but some of you guys are not playing anywhere, anytime. And so that can definitely put you in a funk. So if you're finding yourself in that place, you just got to work through it. Josh, man, my practicing varies. It varies. And it's not always the traditional practice, Josh. For me, like creating a record, I could be practicing. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just I'm just getting in here and I'm gonna spend 2 hours today working through, pentatonic scales or whatever the case may be. Sometimes my practice comes while I'm recording, believe it or not. Because if I'm really working through an idea and I keep going over that idea, just trying to clean it up. I had that happen actually last week. It's a crazy lick I came up with. It was wearing me out. And so as I was recording, I kept practicing trying to get it together, and just that repetition over getting that, and I kept playing it, up an octave, down an octave, that kind of thing. So throughout the whole recording process, I was practicing and recording, and I wasn't just trying to say, hey, I'm going to practice while I'm recording. It's one of those things that happen. So sometimes my practicing is not intentional. You said, where is my mic? Yeah, I don't have a mic right now. So sometimes that practicing isn't intentional, and sometimes it's very intentional. I get up with the intention that, hey, I'm gonna work specifically on this. In those moments, I don't know, practice could go anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on how I'm feeling and how much time I have that particular day. And sometimes I'll spend the first hour working through technical stuff. Sometimes I'll come in here and I'll put songs on and just play to these different songs. And that could go on for hours. And I move around a lot when I'm practicing nowadays. I might jump from instrument to instrument. I'll jump in there and play the drums for a little while and rock out on the drums. And then I come back to bass, and I might go to guitar, and I might play a little bit on the keys. To be heard, you need to have them. Are you not hearing me? Are you guys not hearing me? Christoph or who? Just somebody respond. Are you guys not hearing me clear? So when I listen to the playback, I think you can hear the audio pretty clear. We do here. All right, okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, because I generally go back and check these, and when I'm listening, I can hear it pretty good. All right. Thank you. I'm glad y'all can hear me. I say we've been at this for a while now. I was thinking y'all can hear me. All right, so I hear you. You are using the laptops. No, I'm not using my laptop. This is actually on my phone. I'm using a microphone for my phone, so it normally comes through pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much the now when I'm using a microphone when I do my videos that I post. There's normally a microphone there, but when I'm live, it's generally not a mic. It's just pretty much whatever device I'm using to go live, I use the microphone from there. So it's worked out pretty cool. But we'll look into that. You're talking about, Chris, you're talking about the videos that I post or the lives. I'm thinking you mean the videos that I post. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all for joining me in this working through these challenges. I really hope that me being uh, open and he said, play us out. We'll see about it. I really hope that me being open and transparent and showing you guys a lot of behind the scenes of what I do, I really hope that helps you. That's my goal and that's my aim with going live and doing these things. Not to just get on here and kill time, because I got other stuff that I can do with an hour or an hour and a half, definitely, to get some other things done. But one of the things that I hope that this does is to help motivate, encourage, and inspire you guys to know, number one, you're not alone in this journey in terms of, it was in three, Larry, it was in three. But to let you guys know that you're not alone in this journey and learning music. We're all constantly learning. Uh, I know what I know, but there's always so much room, so much more room to improve, and we have good days, we have bad days. I don't care what level you are. I've been playing as a professional, man, for, 13, 14 years now, but I still have good days. I have bad days. Some of you guys I know have been playing as a professional for 20 plus years. I had to get out of college before I could do all of that. So, but in my years of doing this as a professional, like I said, you have good days, some days not so good. You just have to figure out the balance, and you have to push through it all. You have to push through it all to make sure you're maximizing your potential. That's a big thing with me, trying my best to maximize my potential and not wasting any time, taking advantage of the time. So again, hopefully this transparency in what I'm doing will help some of you guys to keep pushing, keep going, and know that you're on the right track. Hopefully I've given you some stuff to work on that you can keep, growing. This is dope. Will you keep this up? Absolutely. Transparency at your level of greatness is not as common as I would like. Oh, like, you're dope, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mike. Oscar, good morning to you, Jermaine, and bass brothers and sisters. I hope everyone. Yes, sir. We're good. So yeah, let's see if I can come up with something to play us out. I'm gonna continue in this same vein and see if I can come up with anything. Put this melody back to this thing. All right. I'm playing around with some stuff. I'm getting some ideas. I just gotta. We working our way out the funk slowly, slowly. So don't judge me if today is your first day. It's a bad day. But thank you guys again for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully this has been helpful for somebody. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. And yeah, we're gonna keep working today. We'll get out of this funk. And there should be new content coming this week. And I'll work on trying to get a new backing track up this week. Appreciate that, Larry. Let's see here. Somebody said, "Can we get that soundtrack?" I don't know if I'm gonna give you that one. I might give you one similar, but I don't know if I'll do that one. That one's already got dibs on it. Honestly, this is such a sick loop to practice and stretch over, explore different scales, voices, and etc. I'll look into doing something similar, maybe for the channel. I'll look into doing something similar to this. But yeah, like I said, that one already got dibs on it, so I'm probably not gonna give you that one. But yeah. All right, so good, encouraging to know even the pros have slumps and funks. Yeah, exactly. So y'all got to see my slump and my funk in real time. Jazz, what's up, man? So yeah, I'm working through it, and yeah, I get out of it. It's just it's one of those things. It's life. What they say is life. If it hadn't happened to you yet, just keep living, and life will happen. So so it's one of those things. It happens. We work through it. We pick it up. We keep moving, and we keep going. Some days, like if I were to turn the camera on and put, like, I know we all can say this, it's like, man, I have those days that if I had a camera going at that moment, you wouldn't believe half of the stuff I was playing. Yeah, we all have those moments. And then we have those moments of like, you turn the camera on and I can't believe that's what you playing. So yeah, this is one of my days. And so, hey, I put it out there. I let y'all hear it. I let you see it real time and let you see it happens to the best of us. And yeah, it's just part of life. So what was that? Playing my bass along here. So interesting. Yeah, Larry, just keep going. Thanks for being vulnerable for real. Absolutely. Uh, Teaching us a way to move forward when you're having a funk day. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We all help one another. We all get better. We all grow. You grow as I grow, and so forth and so on. And again, I appreciate you guys being here. I said that for the third, fourth time, so I'm actually out this time around. But I'm gonna be good. You're gonna be good. And if you're having one of these days, just remember, just keep going. Push through it. Push through the frustration. Push through the nothingness. Just keep going, and something good will come out of it. I guarantee you, something good will come out of it. I'll probably be sweet by the end of the day. I can guarantee I'll probably be sweet by the end of the day. But right now, we still working. We it's getting there, but it's like, not quite. So we're gonna keep working. So all right, y'all have a great day. I'm out. Much love. Peace.